I joke a lot, and I always laugh every time I say something on video. So people might think I don't take things serious, but I do. But I want to talk about knowledge. And this is brief. I'm going to keep this video very brief because I got to get ready to go to work. But, you know, I think about a quote from Einstein. He said that the difference between scientific thinking and everyday thinking is a matter of refinement. And, you know, in everyday situations, we don't speak in a very refined manner. And that's okay, because generally we don't have a lot of problems with that. We can say things that really aren't literal truth. If I have a can of something, let's say like this can, which is labeled peaches, it's an unopened can, and I say that I know that there are peaches in that can, that's okay. That's not a very scientific way of putting it, because I'm not a scientist, and we're not in a situation that requires a more refined way of thinking about something. It's okay if I claim to know it, but the only way I'm really going to know what's in that can is when I open that can, and when I experience with all my senses what's in that can. When I see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, hear it. I suppose if you take a peach and you drop it on the floor, plop, if it sounds like a peach, you know. And then I can say, yeah, it matched with what I had thought. But see, you have a thought about what's in there. Let's think about what a theory is. A theory is a much more organized, structured thinking about something. It's a set of explanations. It's basically an explanation. The explanation I have is that there are peaches, and the reason why I explain it that there are is because that's what's on the outside. And every time I have had a can of anything, no matter what it was, whether it was peaches or tomatoes or corn, I've consistently had that experience. So that's sort of like, this, in a very crude way, I'm going to call that a theory. I have a theory that there are peaches, and it's based on past experiences. You know, I mean, I could have done experiments, but basically when you're just doing stuff every day, you don't really call it an experiment. So, I have a theory that there are peaches. Now, when I open up that can, and I experience all those things, my theory has been confirmed. Experience is not a theory, and a theory is not experience. However, the two work together. One has a theory, and one can have experiences that match up with the theory. So, a theory really, if we look at it in a less refined way, a theory is just basically a thought about something, or a series of thoughts, or basically an explanation. To put it in a better way of putting it, it's an explanation. My explanation is that I know what's in that can, or I'm going to make a claim. I'm not even going to say knowledge. I'm going to make a claim that there are peaches in that can. Without using the word knowledge, I'm claiming that there are peaches in that can. And my claim is based on my theory, which is based on past experiences up to this point. Now, this next experience I have of opening the can and tasting what's in there might break all that stuff from the past. That theory could be shattered because I can no longer claim that every time I see a can and it has a label of something, that what's in there is equal to, you know, what it says on the outside is equal to what's in there. The theory can shatter. Experiences have the power to shatter theories. You know, if you're dropping an object and it falls, and as soon as you release it, it goes up. You know, the theory that gravity will pull things down, now all of a sudden that theory has been shattered. It only takes one experience going contrary to that theory to shatter the theory. This is something Einstein also said. The scientists know that. But you know, in everyday speech, we are not scientists. And I think sometimes there are people who go scientific overboard. You know, they hold people to some extreme standard that's unnecessary. It's like holding people to the standard of being an Olympic runner if they're running for the bus. You know, if you didn't make the timing that it would take to get on the Olympic team, then, you know, we have to give you some penalty. It's like if somebody did that, you try to run for the bus, that's crazy. You don't hold people to extreme standards. But some people do. when I get on YouTube, I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to be one. And even if I were a scientist, let's say I worked over in the Fermi lab, which is out in the suburbs, the big accelerator ring that's 5 miles long. If I worked there and I was a scientist, still, when I'm making videos, I'm not making videos as a scientist unless I'm claiming that. And I'm making my videos and claiming here's a scientific experiment. No, I'm just a regular guy. Drinking his coffee, trying to get ready for work. So, sometimes when I listen to arguments, it's always funny on YouTube how people hold people to scientific standards about claims. That's why I don't get into arguments, because I don't feel like spending billions of dollars doing experiments and proving points about things. I just make a claim. I might be right, I might be wrong. And sometimes my claims are not quite as precise as science, so that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be under a lot of stress. And you know, when I talk about religion, I don't talk that much about it, but you know, religious experiences are real. People have religious experiences. I have them. We all have them. We may not call them religious, but we have them. Basically, this is the type of thing that Abraham Maslow would have called peak experiences. And I think one of the things he tried to do in a lot of his writings was to write about those experiences in a non-religious way. It's kind of like something that Sam Harris talks about sometimes. You know, you can have what people call transcendent experiences. But a lot of people would refer to those as religious experiences. And so I never argue with people about that. If they say, oh, I had a religious experience, I felt the presence of God and whatever. I don't argue with that, because I don't argue with someone's experiences. Even if the experiences, you know, I just can't, because I can't get in there and test it. There's no way I can test your experiences. But so I accept it. It's just a matter of being social sometimes. And sometimes I feel the same way about things. But I don't claim that as science. I don't throw it out there as science. I don't throw it out there as facts that are open to scientific discussions. But you can talk about what you experience. I don't think people should be afraid of talking. I don't think people should be afraid of expressing things. You know, if I experience love for someone, like I experienced a lot of love for Missy over here, who needs a bath. Right, Missy? Yeah, she's down here. She's on the floor right now. You know, I have a lot of love for her, but that's not science. I can't show you scientifically that I love her. You know. I can't show scientifically that I love my, you know, my family. I love my mother and my brothers and all my relatives, and, you know, not all of them. That's different. That's another video for another day. But anyway, scientifically we don't have to be scientists. We can just be regular people, and we can speak in regular ways. So I think all the people who are holding everybody to scientific standards need to back off a little bit and kind of relax. Unless somebody's claiming something as a scientific fact, don't be so harsh on people, you know.